And the Holy Prophet ﷺ consequently emphasizes in the words of the Quran itself that both are human beings of the same category. And the status of both is the same. Of course, what are called conditions, variability of conditions, or status according to conditions. In that respect, man stands superior at certain places, at certain stations in life. So does woman. It is not that superiority has been writ large by Islamic theology on the forehead of man. Not so. Man is the equal according to Islam. The husband and wife, they have got equal legal obligations to one another. The wife is not subservient to the husband. لَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. To them is due what is due from them. It is the law of equity. And here the Quran mentions, of course, وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً, that the husband is 1 degree above the wife. لَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي, first of all it says that they are equal, then it says that the husband is 1 degree above. What does it mean? It means that as human beings they are equal, but as functionaries in society, as members of a family, that 1 degree of being superior in function to the wife has been given to the husband on a very rational ground. The husband is more capable of undergoing the hardships of life. The husband is more capable of being a support for others. She does not suffer from those handicaps, physical handicaps from which the wife suffers. And consequently, this law has been laid down which is natural, and we have been told at another place, الرجال قوامون على النساء. The husbands are the protectors and guardians for their wives. This is the same thing as saying, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. The poor husband should remain awake the whole night if anything goes wrong with the wife, or if there is any danger for the wife, because he has been made the guardian and protector of personality and the honor and the everything of the wife. Here the crown has been placed on his head, but it is a crown of thorns, because the Quran goes on to say, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given superiority in points of different elements in human life to different persons among you. He has not given the same capabilities to all human beings. وَبِمَا أَنْفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ, and because the economic burden also has been placed squarely on the shoulders of the husband alone. And here I might state the law, Islamic law. If the husband is poor and the wife is rich, she might inherit from her parents and become rich, or she might earn. Earning one's living for a woman has been clearly laid down in the Holy Quran. There is absolutely no disqualification in that respect for a woman. If she is more wealthy than the husband, and this poor husband is not able to make the two ends meet in connection with his financial obligations to the family, according to the Islamic law, the husband can only request and plead for help from the wife, cannot force her. Cannot force her, according to the Islamic law. And this, if he forces his wife, according to the Islamic jurists, it will form a valid ground for the wife to obtain a divorce from the husband. I don't want this husband who is all the time teasing me, and he wants to take away my own welfare. The husband cannot, according to the Islamic law, force his wife even to bear her own expenses, because they also rest squarely on his shoulders. Poor free. He is like the rickshaw drivers of Durban. Whenever he is asked by the family, the poor fellow has to drive the rickshaw of his family day in and day out. Well, this as regards the comparative status of the husband and the wife. He has been made the guardian, and because all the obligations have been placed on him, therefore he has been given the right of veto. Anybody who is a student of politics knows it, or of sociology knows it, that you cannot organize an institution without unitary policy. There must be the governing policy must be in the hands of one person, whether it is the state or it is the family or it is a college or it is a school or it is anything else, you see. This is the law. And it ought to have been the law, because the ruler and creator of this world is one. That is God. So, from this point of view, equal powers could not be given to the husband and the wife. Cannot be given, otherwise the family will go to dogs. The wife will use her veto and the husband will use his veto, and both are within right. And the poor children will just stand there and weep. You see, they cannot come, the family cannot be run. So the obligations have been placed on the husband, and also the right of veto. But how is this right to be exercised? The first principle of Islamic social life is that all human beings should base their dealings on the principle of goodwill and understanding towards one another. That is the first principle of Islam. Islam calls it al-Islah. وَأَصْلِحُوا ذَاتَ بَيْنِكُمْ. And it then goes beyond that. وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Do not forget magnanimity in your dealings with one another. Not only justice, not only the maintenance of peace in a healthy society, but magnanimity and grace, because you also would like to have grace from God. So exercise it here. And this grace is to be exercised against those who are weaker than us, who are placed in our charge. So the principle in Islam is, that is the first principle, which is a universal rule or law of Islamic social life. The other principle is Amruhum Shura Bainahum, that Muslims are those who pursue all their activity in life, all their dealings, on the basis of mutual consultation only, and not in the spirit of dictators. This will apply Both of these principles will apply much more to the dealings between the husband and the wife rather than to any other dealing. So the husband cannot behave according to Islam as a dictator. He cannot say, because I am the husband, because I am doing all this, therefore it is within my right to order you, my good lady, like this, behave like this or get out from here. You can't say. His function is that of a guardian. His function is that of a protector. And legally both stand equal in status. Consequently, he shall have to discuss the problem with his wife respectfully, decently, and nicely. And only when he finds that the wife's opinion in a particular matter is wrong, as it can be, then he'll say that in the interest of my family, for the sake of God, I wish to take a line of action which you don't approve. And now that I have taken this decision, you will have to abide by it, and the Quran gives the order there to the wife. You must abide. Otherwise, you see, when you look at the problem from the practical point of view, a person may become academic or a theoretician, but if you look at the problems from the practical point of view, this is how the social relations can be properly adjusted. Now, this is the position of the woman in Islam as regards her role as a wife. Beyond this, she is superior to man. She is 3 times superior to man as a mother. 3 times, and even beyond that probably. Because it is about her that the Holy Prophet ﷺ has said, paradise lies by the feet of the mother. He never said it lies by the feet of the father. I will say this is not poetry. Don't pass on this just like that. And I would like, especially the men folk, to think on this. The Holy Prophet ﷺ was not a poet. He was a wise teacher and guide for mankind, and every word that he said, he was always extremely careful, and he was being guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that he said. As the Quran says, وَمَا يَمْسَقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. He does not speak of his own incentive or desire. Every word that he speaks is under the impact of the divine wisdom, and he is guided in that by God. Imagine this. What does it mean? Paradise to be by the side of the feet of the mother. What does it mean? Is it a joke? Is it something meaningless? Does the mother after that stand at the same level where the father stands? How can it be? Paradise has been made the goal for you and for me. That which is the goal of all endeavor in life, we have been told that kiss the feet of the mother and there you will find the paradise. And consequently, when we read in the books of Hadith, we find that legally the mother is 3 times superior to a father. Then we read that a sister is twice superior to the brother. The daughter is twice superior to the son. That is not a blind law of equality which the modern Western civilization has given, and I will come to that blind modern Western point of view. While he gave all that belonged to the woman, and made her equal as a human being. As the Quran says, إِنَّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ وَالْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. They are in this verse, in the 23rd part of the Quran. It makes it clear, you see, that any action of virtue or any action of vice, whether it is committed by man or it is committed by woman, it has the same effect. It is not that because a man is performing an act of virtue, therefore he will be rewarded more, like certain pre-Islamic religions where woman was regarded to be a filthy creature. She could not even go into the temples to obtain the Eucharist or the blessings from the priest in her naked hands. She can't do. Those religions still exist. While emphasizing this thing and laying down in natural law, Islam also emphasized the fact that the woman is the more important part of mankind. If the woman goes astray, if the woman falls into wicked ways or evil things, humanity will suffer much more than when a man falls. Of course, the unfortunate thing about it is that man and woman become partners in all evil things. If not all, in most evil things. But the Holy Quran emphasizes what we have been told. For instance, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. If you wish to reform a social order, begin with the ladies. Because every human being comes into this world in her lap. He knows the woman first. He or she, whoever they are. Every human being gets the first lessons from a woman. And the impressionable age of childhood is spent with the mother, because the father, of course, has to go every morning to earn living, to earn the daily bread. And it is generally the mother who is there by the side of the child. So until the child grows into a sort of independent adult, he has to remain in the company mostly of his mother. If the mother is educated, cultured, pious, possessing moral integrity, and possessing wisdom, the child is going to get his share out of that. Not from the father. The father may be anything of his time. The father doesn't get the time, cannot get the time. That is also not natural. So, if we wish to reform any society, we should begin with the ladies. And if anyone wants to deform any society, it should also begin with the ladies. The women folk are the last fortress. The women folk or womanhood is the starting point of every religion and of every culture and of every civilization. The foundations are laid in her lap. And womanhood is also the last fortress. Once that is broken, no religion and no culture and no civilization can stay. Consequently, Islam has taken the greatest care that the woman should be protected more than man. And that's why you will find in the Quran special laws which have been given which curtail the freedom of the woman, freedom of movement, freedom in point of behavior. That a woman should always be very, very graceful. She should not allow herself to be vulgar at all, like some of the men. If a man becomes vulgar, not much is lost. If a woman's life becomes vulgar, everything is lost. Once, a lady asked me a question in Ottawa, probably, in Canada. I was speaking there at the Ottawa University. She asked me a question about the status of women in Islam. I answered it. She bluntly retorted, "What do you say about the Parda system?" I say, Parda is not compulsory in Islam in the manner in which it has been practiced in India. But even if it had been compulsory in Islam, it would have been better than the rules of conduct which you are observing here in this country. She says, how can you defend the Parda? I understand that you are a doctor of philosophy. How can you speak like this? This is a very vulgar point of view. This is a very backward point of view. I said, no, my good lady, it's not. She said, can you say something in its defense? I said, yes, I can. I said, look here, my good lady. God is the creative force in the universe, the central creative force. He is hidden. He is behind the Parda. The woman is the creative force in human society. Should she imitate God or imitate the devil who goes about naked? Like that. Woman is the creative force in human society. Then again I said, look here, my good lady, if you have a piece of pebble that you have picked on the seashore, which just costs nothing and has no value, would you place that piece of pebble in a safe, locked? Said, no. Why should I? What do you mean? I said, but my good lady, if you have a good diamond, you are not going to throw it on the road. You will keep it there right in the safe, won't you? She said, yes. I said, yes, Islamic culture regards the women folk as diamonds, and your culture regards the women folk as pebbles and stones. And that is so. That is so. Different Muslim communities might have given it a sort of perverted twist. And in different Muslim communities there may be men, as I know them in Pakistan, who are extremely anti-Islamic in their behavior and attitude towards the women folk. That is beside the point. We are talking here in terms of Islam, what Islam stands for. Islam stands for this, that the moral and spiritual health of the Muslim society, for that the custodians can be the Muslim ladies 90% and the Muslim men only 10%. That is the obligation that Islam has placed on the women folk. For the interest of the human society, Islam wants the women to be modest. By modest I mean what is called in Urdu or Arabic haya, to cultivate innocence and not to cultivate vulgarity in their life. And remember, it's a fact that one slip in the wrong direction, it is the poor woman who suffers and man goes scot-free.